Yes, you need to be able to die for what you are doing. When you think about why would a character, and I'm not saying it's not real, but in any story, think about why would a character like Jesus Christ have credibility in the things that he says? Because if you're willing to literally die for what you believe, knowing the consequences, then that's when you have a conviction that's uh, ironclad, because it means that you know most deeply. So, unless you're insane or stupid, you should believe. Um, you should aim for maximum conviction, whatever your degree of conviction that you're able to maintain in the actions that you do. You should absolutely push that limit. And you do that by making sure everything you do is something worth dying for, because we are dying. Everyone is dying. So if on Judgment Day you want to have lived a good life and you go forward into infinity as someone who used his or her time well, or someone who wasted this opportunity. It's not like there's no reason not to enjoy life. There's no reason to. Is there a reason? I can't think of anything. There's not like that argument always wins. And that's just like the simple logic of it. What as humans, everything that we experiencing makes the universe exist. And if it exists, then why would there be what's the point of not living it? You know? Like why wouldn't you? Because and maybe that's coming from a place where I haven't gone through suffering. But I would say the interesting thing is the more you suffer voluntarily, the more you have that conviction, because you gain the strength to withstand, and you actually can grow mentally stronger, and so there's not any points in not doing that. uh, yeah, why? I don't know, man. There really isn't a reason. I like to do things. Doing things is good. Uh, yeah, doing things is pretty solid, pretty tight, bro. Pretty litty, pretty squiddy, pretty kitty, titty. Um, TNT, um, Teenage Ninja Turtles, M, Mutant, Anthrax. I feel like that could be a meme. Just I'm just like having fun. Like it's like a type of like practicing rapping in a way, or just like um training yourself to make loose associations based on types of like everything from the ending of word. It's just poetry, you know. It's like you just like say stuff that's like related, and the more connections you can make, the more reasons you can do something like doing a chess move for many reasons. Um, then the better it works in the same way. Like the more a harmony makes sense. Music's like the craziest thing, honestly, because like what the heck, man? That's like so complicated because it's expression, but expression is based in logic, and logic is and but all the sounds have a logic to them because they feel a certain way because yeah, that's like, what the fuck, man. That's the crazy one. How can you do that? That's like, yeah, music does seem to be the answer in terms of I mean, it's just like like your life should be music, maybe, is what I'm trying to say. Not not even that like, yeah, you don't even have to be a musician, but I think because it's not about the sound, it's about like the type of thing that you're doing in music. So what is music? Music is like a collection of melodies, which is just um like compounds of stuff, and that stuff together sounds crazy. Well, it does things, c- especially when well, yeah, especially when it's using words as well. You can just create a story. Um, it's interesting. There must be something inherent about like humans are musical, I guess. Unless like you have like, I wonder what would keep you from enjoying music because like even people who are like pretty intellectually impaired all enjoy music. That's kind of like the weird limit. Like it's almost like the limit of intelligence in which we have like a lot of empathy. I think it's like if they, it's but again, it's not even like somebody could be deaf and then still have this. I don't think it's music in particular. It's what we do, the complex set of things that happen. So like even a deaf person would be musical in this sense. Like the act of playing it, even if you can't hear it, if you're doing it with that same intention, even if that intention without like the actual hearing part, like it's probably on a completely different plane. Like we can't even uh it's like seeing a different dimension or something. You can't relate to what you can't relate to, I guess it's a truism. But yeah, um got a Arduino today. I'm gonna try to program some light bulbs. Uh, yeah, light bulbs are pretty cool. You can like program logic into switches and like real world applications. Programming though is kind of crazy, but it's interesting to me how in programming you really have just various uh, bits of numbers, which is just voltage switches, Like, it's just crazy, dude. Because yeah, computers are crazy. Computers are the coolest thing ever. Computers are that kind of music too, in that they basically are just structures, and it's a beautiful structure if it produces something. So yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude. Does your structure produce something? And what does it produce? If it does produce something, what does your structure produce? What is value? If value is something that is deemed beneficial, meaning it's good, what does it mean to be good? Again, begs the question, what is it worth dying for? What's worth dying for? Am I willing to die for this? So if you look at reality as it is and things are the way they are, and you're actually seeing them that way because you're honestly, it's like a strange thing because you're willing to look at that which you're not ashamed of anymore. Because if you're actually striving towards something, then that is what redeems you. Because that means, so it's like a weird thing with good and evil and a leap of faith that it takes from to get from evil to good, because it's a spiritual battle. And the way that it the reason why it's a leap of faith is because of the shame. And shame is like one of the last weapons used by the it's like the last gate for the good to win. Like that's what evil uses. It's on the outskirts of evil. And that's because like you're gonna make mistakes in life, or there's things that are outside of your control. But like when that kind of stuff happens, then you can only make it worse. Because if things happen in your life and you know, deal with them to the best of your ability, then even if you lose something, but you did your best, you're gonna feel better. Always. It's failure. Failure can only happen if you are capable and you choose not to. Or yeah, and the choosing not to is just the choice of allowing your ego to get involved. And the reason your ego prevents you from doing the best thing, and it doesn't always. Sometimes it can be pretty good at like that path. That's why there's so many fake Christians. Is because everybody recognizes, okay, look, everybody's doing an okay job. And okay isn't enough for things to get better. But like like everybody still has that, like they still want it. Nobody knows how to do it. and that's because everybody's driven by, yeah, it's because of the shame. Nobody has the faith. And so if you go around and everybody's like all fucked up, then like, and I don't mean that in the sense that they're irredeemable. It's the really the bad case is when somebody is completely unaware that they're pretty far removed from that which would redeem them. The further you are, the worse it is. And yeah, it takes a, but it's further in a weird sense because it's not like there aren't people who seem to be extremely lost, and they do find a way. So that's the interesting thing. And then others that are only a little bit lost never find their way, but that little lost can amalgamate or like uh accumulate. I meant and man, I want to learn Latin because I'm thinking of all these like root words. I'm like, what does that mean? I should learn Latin because another thing I'm curious about is how much does 23andMe talk about like does it include like I wonder if the ethnicities that are denoted uh do they separate out everything? Like I wonder how good they are at separating stuff out because obviously I wonder how good the research and whatever it is uh truly is. I guess I don't know anything about how they actually do that. That's an interesting question because yeah, I wonder if like part of if part of what would make Europe even a thing would be share shared uh ethnicity. So um I'm sure this exists. I wonder. I should look this up. Um a scatter plot of Europe with all the populations genetically separated out like with an average kind of thing. But even then, that wouldn't tell the whole story because you have a different kind of um, way that the ethnicity can break down in terms of there's the one by geographical location and you average how many people have ancestry from each one, and then you have uh, I should do some writing. I should do some writing, dude. Writing is good. What does writing do? Is it natural to write? Hmm. Good question. Is it natural to write? What is writing? Writing is saving. But saving things for a re-examination. But you're saving ideas. You're saving speech. But then it's like a different form. But it's only the natural form. It's like verbal speech. Is that the only good one? Hmm. I wonder. I wonder what did Jesus